The Metaphysician's Companion.
Good afternoon, John.
Good afternoon, Graham.
Hello, listeners. It's nice you're here again. I think today we're going to step into something very metaphysical. We're going to try and discuss maybe the astral plane. Now, the question is, does it exist? Have you had an experience? Are you one of these people listening that has been on an astral journey and lived on the astral? These are very deep questions. And is it just a dream state or is there more to it? What do you think, John?
Well, glad you asked that question. I really don't know what to make of it. I mean, I've read various books that talk about, the astral plane and higher planes and so forth.
Yeah.
And, first thing I think of is that word plane. Like it makes it sound like levels, like a flat earth and then another one above it and so forth, up to the heavens.
Yeah.
But I think, like I'm thinking about it, to me it is more, or even the word dimension. An alternate dimension. It's kind of hard to understand what that would mean, being so firmly set in three-dimensional space plus time.
I think that's the problem. We live in this physical world, and it's very hard to envisage something like this. As you know, I've done some channeling back in the past, and one of the things that I was given information about was the astral plane. And basically, they said the message I got. I say they. This consciousness said to me that the astral plane is not just one level at all. It's a multitude of different levels of different existences, and they interact with the physical. But most of the time, we don't know it, but it does.
Yeah. I kind of imagined that it would work more like radio waves, higher frequencies.
Yeah,
I think tune in and listen to that signal or a lower frequency, and they don't necessarily interfere with each other because you tune yourself. Rather, you tune your set. That is to listen to.
Most of us are tuned into this physical life, so we live in this physical life. So if you're a clairvoyant or a psychic, you actually then tune into something else. And this is where this stuff starts to morph into our physical lives. And what I got told was basically there's a multitude of levels and they all operate at a different, for want of a word, frequency, like radio waves. And they sometimes cross over into each other and sometimes they don't. There's something like a total different, separate existence, or sometimes they actually cross over into the various levels that there are. And then, to be honest with you, it'd be probably too hard to talk about all these multitude of levels and this, and it's probably not the place. But what I'm trying to get at is that there sometimes is that the astral, for want of a better word, is just other dimension, this other vibration, sometimes comes across into our physical world. Now, it could be a lower level energy, or it could be a higher level energy that comes, for want of a word, down or up. So if we're using the linear viewpoint, the higher energy, say from some people, what we call the ascended masters, for example, it would come down in a sense because it's a higher level of vibration of existence, where the other ones come up through the bottom to our level of existence. And what I got told was we're banging in the middle of between. The physical is actually in between, and the energies on the bottom levels all want to come up into the physical. That's what they want. That's why they cross over. And also, things like black magic and witchery, negative witchery, not white magic, use those energies for purpose of control.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting in that, all sorts of mythologies, they'll have their hell world.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like in some of those Buddhist ones and the Hindus, have a whole levels of underworld as well as call it the overworld.
Yes.
The heaven realms, the Buddha realms and all this sort of thing. So it's not an unusual conception, in the world of mythology to see the world that way. I sort of wonder, like being able to feel the energy around the body myself. Like, is this more belonging to the next plane of existence, rather than a strictly physical thing?
Yeah, well, I think there's lots of planes of existence, for want of a better word, and we're as I said, in the middle of that. So we can pull on below or up. So we have the choice of putting on a lower vibrational energy or a higher vibrational energy. And I think when you do things like the energy healing, you're pulling on a different level. You're bringing down a higher energy feeling. I use the word feeling, but it's not the right word. But you bring it, because when I've done the healing, I'll bring it through the brow chakra, the crown chakra, and throughout and through my body and my hands. So it's like you're bringing it in. So we can only think in linear terms in this physical world. That's the problem. So we actually tend to put it up or down. It's not really up or down. It's just around. But we have to do that because it's the only way we can deal with it. I think that's the right word. So when you're doing that healing, perhaps it's the energy you feel as though you bring it down and pushing it out of you through your hands to the person that's there, and you're doing it for the good of the person, not for the bad of the person. Where somebody else would try and use that energy to control, for example.
Yeah, one of the things I notice is that when I'm like doing work on somebody like that, it's best if I don't think about it. It's like the thinking, the control, even the control of my thoughts seems to, I'd say, I'm not trying to get a good word for it, but I will say interfere. It doesn't work as well if I think about it other than to follow what I'm doing. And sometimes it feels like, I feel more like I'm cleaning stuff out, like, combing a horse or what have you. It's combing the aura, getting it soothed out. And sometimes it's like, find slightly unpleasant things.
So is the aura part of this astral energy?
That's what I'm asking,
that's the question we do. Is it part of the astral energy? Is it this other energy that exists besides us? Because we keep on talking about this.
Yeah, because you're talking about overlap. Sometimes the other one comes in and it's here anyway, and it seems to be where your attention is directed.
And it's also about allowing your mind to accept that particular energy into you. Now you could, you're in a position where you're asking, you're not actually trying to control it. You're just trying to let it be. So that's the difference. But you're actually pulling on something that's not in the physical world to you. Am I correct in my thinking in that way?
Well, I think so. I bet my mind was just drifting off to astral travel. I'm sorry, I was just...
It's all right. So you were going to leave me now and go on the astral plane and come back. So
Like, I mean, I've had people tell me about astral traveling, and I'm sort of I've just, it was quite a while ago, so I was much younger and much more skeptical. And sort of, I just nod my head and go, oh, okay. And sort of not wishing to go, own that person's experience and say, no, this didn't happen.
I suppose the other question is the astral plane, for what is at the higher end of the astral plane, is that where you go when you die, for example? Is that where the consciousness ends up? And is life different and whatever? When you get there, my feelings is, yes, it would be. It'd be totally different because it's a different energy field you're in. I mean, we use the word energy field. But all this is so hard to describe. It's because it's non-physical.
Where we sort of jazz it up a bit.
Yeah. So,
when you said, where do we go when we die, I immediately thought of the Tibetans, Tibetan Buddhism, because they spend a lot of time thinking about death. That the whole dying ritual is about bardo, which is a plane of existence or something. And the general idea, as I understand it, I'll re-emphasize that, as I understand it, not necessarily what is intended. They talk to the person who is dying, and even after they have ceased to breathe and for all intents and purposes are dead. And the idea is that when you enter this other state, shall we call it the astral plane?
Yeah.
But it can be confusing. The colours and movement and all this sort of thing. You don't know what's going on necessarily. And so they keep up this conversation about what to look for so that you do not reincarnate, or that you make sure that you are thinking of the highest things, so you will go in that direction rather than being confused and choose what is normal or habit.
So when I have to ask the question, if one is, depending on one's state in their physical life, do they reenact that into this astral energy they move their consciousness into?
Well, I would. This is where I'd bring karma into play here. And karma is attachment to the fruits of action.
Yeah.
And if you are attached to doing things or having done something, that is like a force to draw you in a particular direction, I would think.
Well, if you were a Viking, of course, you were fighting battles and you were wanting to go back to Thor in a fighting, so that your thing was that when you got killed in battle,
you go off
in
to
all honor
Valhalla.
to Thor, and he was there waiting for you.
You could go and fight everybody and then come back afterwards and drink honey mead or whatever it was.
So their image for themselves when they died was basically they go to this place where they'll be welcome because they were a warrior.
That sounds like a lot more fun to me than sitting on a cloud singing hallelujahs all day.
Well, of course. Why do you think they kept on robbing and pillaging? They knew where they're going to go afterwards.
But the idea of consciousness continuing after death.
Yeah,
that seems perfectly plausible to me. That's
or would it be? It's the real self rather than the personality developed with all its foibles in this world.
Well, I think so. It's like, for me, I keep thinking of an intention to life. That's what has developed this being you see in front of you. Is this intention to life. And that intention, the spiritual part, if you want to call it that, like it sort of continues, and it brings baggage along with it.
So do you think sort of out-of-body experiences are part of this story?
Well, I've only had the one. Like I said, I landed on my head, got up and wandered around for a bit.
Oh, of course, yes, the motorcycle story, yeah.
And it seemed just like the real world. Like it was like, and the only difference was nobody was paying attention to me.
I've only had, I actually quite often get it. It's really this situation where I'm awake, but my body's not. So it's like I've just come back into my body, and I can't wake my body up. Have you ever had that sensation?
A very long time ago, maybe when I was in high school. I seem to remember something of the sort.
It happens to me quite often. I say often, maybe a couple of times a year. I get this thing. I suddenly I'm back in my physical body, but I'm conscious. I'm back into it, but I can't wake myself up. It's really hard. It's really real strange. It's like, well, I shouldn't be asleep. Where am I? I'm back in my body, but I know I'm back in there. It's really quite weird.
What, do you remember where you've been?
Well, that's the trouble. I don't. I just so it's like I've just come back from somewhere, and it's like when you come back and open the door of the house. You go in, and you haven't made the cup of tea yet. It's really quite hard to explain. It's like you know where you are, but you're conscious you're somewhere else. It's really, really, really strange. So you start to think, okay, well, how do I wake up? And then what I find is that sometimes I'm actually looking at myself. So again, so I see this body line, and I'm trying to get in there. It's really weird.
Here's a question: Do you have to remember who you are? When you come back, are you Graham or are you just life?
That's an interesting question. I've never really thought of that. All I know is I belong in there.
Yeah.
I belong in that body.
See,
I don't belong out of it.
Where my thoughts were going is like, do you not remember because you're not the personality when you're out of the body? You're not Graham.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about it a lot. I know you're saying that. It's interesting you say that because it's making me think. My thoughts are yes, it's like I've been another person somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it's like I've acted out some other things outside. So maybe I am astral traveling, but I'm acting out other things outside of my physicality. And I've just come back, and I'm thinking, oh, I need to come back.
I've come back, got to be Graham again.
Get Graham again, yeah. Really, really, it's actually quite disconcerting.
Because see, the thing was, that was why I was wondering, why would you not remember? Yeah, because it would seem to me to be a pretty noteworthy event to find oneself out of the body.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's the process to get back into the body which is really quite strange. It's like, you belong there, but you can't get back in again. It's like part of you is out. It is literally part of you is outside your own being, your own physicality. And you think, well, am I dead? No, I'm not. And then the other question is, what was this? Is it like when you die, you're going to be, is this what happens when you die? Or are you just conscious that you die and then you can keep on going? Who would know?
Yeah, I mean, do you take the personality with you, or does everything, roll up and stay behind? You just know that you're not meant to be where you are. Yeah.
I think that's the right phraseology.
But with the things like your story that you were talking, your father came to see you.
Oh yes.
When he died, like that would, indicate that consciousness of, who I was, the role I was playing in this world.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a fairly common experience, or it's reported frequently.
Yeah. So. Well, maybe that's the part that goes that came of him to me that day, because he wasn't, for words, quite dead, or for want of better words, sounds terrible, or he just departed or whatever.
Because that was another one I remember reading somewhere. It's sort of like some of that. It's like you leave the physical body, and then you start leaving some of these other bits behind as well.
Well, in the book, what I've written in this channel book I wrote was basically that your conscious leaves through your top of your head, your crown, and goes out, and you're still connected to your body. And it's only when all the chakras are literally switched off or broken off, that you actually leave, and the body stays still. So which I found quite interesting. And then your consciousness is aware of other things outside your own physicality, that's, say, on the bed or wherever it is that's the body is dying, where it's passed away. So you then become aware of another consciousness. But and I use the word "get told" because it's the only way I can explain it, is that basically it's your higher self, which is actually outside your physicality, or is outside the aura, takes in all your life. So literally, it's like a big computer that's holding all the information of what you've experienced in that particular incarnation, and that leaves with you. And it wasn't, and once it leaves. That leaves with you, but that then doesn't stay the same and after death, it actually gets broken up into different sections of your being. Sounds really crazy, doesn't it? But that's what I got. And some of it stays on, for whatever, the astral plane, and lives out, continues to live out that life. If that was that personality, still continues on to gain more knowledge and wisdom. But the speed on that side is of things happening much faster.
Yeah.
So what you think you get, it's really hard to explain. So you have to then you so the art on that side. Sorry, people, I've just gone off on a tangent here, but the art, what you think you get. So you have to learn to control your thoughts more. So it's a process of you then learning. You know, in meditation we talk about you need to, and if your mind wanders, you ask the question, you bring it back. Why? But on the astral, what you think happens. So you have to learn that basically your thoughts are energy.
It's basically, I think, what that Tibetan in the Bardos is. The keep focused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I was just looking at the time here, Graham.
We don't know our 25 minutes, have we?
It's about time we left this plane of radio existence.
Yes. Which channel are we on today? Anyway, yes.
Tune in again next time.
Yeah. Well, look, I think that discussion was fun. It's something we didn't expect, so that's good. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And look, we'd love to hear from anybody who does astral traveling and what they do and how they do it. That would be really interesting to have from you guys. So you can leave a comment on Spotify or or YouTube.
Or email us at metphyscompanion@gmail.com. It's METPHYS companion@gmail.com.
Oh, we hope you enjoyed that little podcast, and we hope we can speak to you soon.
Yeah. Okay, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.